I hate to pull this card. The Russians collaborated with the Nazis. There was a Soviet general. You can go look up at this history if you want to. It's not really all that important to this debate, but Alex just refuses to let go of his botched history lesson. There was a Russian general who defected during the start of the Nazi invasion of the Soviet Union, who then recruited Russians to fight for the Nazis. I mean, I can't. 1 second, let me look this up because this is pretty known history. I forget what the army was called. I looked up Russian Nazi army, and the first thing that came up was Rusich. That's good. That's good that that's the first thing that comes up. Thank you, Google. But no, I wanted to talk about the World War II. What was his name? Yeah, the Russian Liberation Army, headed by Vlasov. You know, there was 120,000 troops by the end of 1945. Were there those many Ukrainians fighting at that point? But I mean, this is pretty well-known history, if you know anything about World War II, that the Russians also had. Here they are. There he is, that old Soviet Russian general, right there on the right there, talking to his units. And his dream, Vlasov's dream, was to create a Russian-aligned Nazi state, was to convince the Nazis not to annihilate them all, but to create a fascist state in Russia to replace the Soviet government. 120,000 men. They were collaborators in Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Ukraine. There was collaborators all over Eastern Europe, and it wasn't, and while there was much more fighting against the Nazis' invasion, thank goodness, the reason why is not only because of the pre-existent fascists, but it was because the Soviets mistreated these people so much. Like when the Soviets, I wonder if you would call the Soviet invasion of Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania, was that liberation? Was the executions and arrests that followed that, was that liberation? This is botched history. He doesn't know anything he's talking about, but if he just says it confident enough, and Drew doesn't have this stuff immediately on hand because he thought he was going to be talking about a modern war, it's not, he's in a difficult position.